it's Miranda here. Hello and welcome to the spooky season. It is the end of October right now. We are a couple of days off Halloween. In Australia, we don't really celebrate Halloween. I guess the kids still do trick-or-treating and there's a little bit of events here and there based off Halloween, but it's not like it is obviously in America or Europe or other places overseas. I didn't dress up for today's video. I was thinking I could maybe dress up as like Wonder Woman, like a shadow hunter. I thought to myself, I'm just gonna go a la natural today, talk about these great books and you know, be a little normal. I thought I'd base today's video off some scary books that I own, but they're not just any books. Goosebumps. I'm gonna be making everyone get a bit of nostalgia. We're gonna go back in time to the 90s. I can remember the theme song so well on my VCR. The Goosebumps movies used to come on and there used to be like ads. Growing up, the Goosebumps series was definitely an essential part of my childhood. These were some of the first books that I actually read alongside, you know, Jacqueline Wilson books or Harry Potter. I can remember them being in my school library and they were a go-to, especially when you are a kid and, you know, you want to feel as if you're reading stuff that's like, you know, a bit more mature, a bit more scarier. Goosebumps came out in 1992. There were spin-offs, television series, merch, feature films, and Wikipedia says there were 235 books in total, and that's including spin-offs and the actual series. The background of R.L. Stine, because apparently he was working his other job. When he was young, he used to always like writing jokes and a bit of like scary stories, and then he took that and later on in life made it his career that he didn't even know he was gonna have. R.L. Stine is like up there. J.K. Rowling is still at the very top, but R.L. Stine has made hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's funny when you think about it because they really are just short, scary stories that you can read in a heartbeat. But they've left definitely an impact on people of my generation, which is the 90s kids. And even now, like 30 years later and beyond, Goosebumps are still kind of being talked about or turned into, you know, movies and TV shows. These days it'd be classified as, you know, quite cheesy. Maybe the kids of this generation think, and it's funny because back in the 90s, it's like playgrounds without tan bark or playgrounds on concrete. People and kids these days are very sheltered, and I feel like the Goosebumps series, if it was written in our time, 2020 period, imagine if it came out now, there'd be so much controversy surrounding it, especially for the kids of this generation because they are so sheltered.
Read it, you're gonna spook my kid, you're gonna make my kid believe in all these things.
It sparked up the imagination of ghosts and the paranormal, these types of books that make kids think a little differently, you know, because they're not all happy endings. My Goosebump Universe. I started collecting Goosebumps, I was kind of like 4 years of age, 5, the late 90s, early 2000s. My brother used to have a few of them. My mum, because she was a teacher, used to bring them home from the library at her school and obviously give them to me to read, and I think my brother.
She never gave them back. 26,
25 years on, but no one ever came after us. So they've kind of become my books. Well, they've been with me longer than I was sitting in the library. I have some of the original Goosebumps. I then also have a few of the spin-offs. 30 books in there that are original, and I can't wait to go through them with you. This is so exciting. The very first one, which is Welcome to Dead House. Who can remember this? Nani's signature. They've actually kept so well considering these books are old. 1992. Do you remember when library books had this? And they used to like, the stamping. I was the last thankful owner of this. Welcome to Dead House is probably one of the most classic of the Goosebump books. I still think to this day it's probably my favorite. Amanda and Josh think the old house they have just moved into is weird, spooky, possibly haunted, and the town of Dark Falls is pretty strange too. These friends are not exactly what their parents had in mind because they want to be friends forever, so they meet like ghosts and shit. Stay out of the basement. So this is book 2. I don't really have memories with this one as I do to Dead House. I only think I read this once. It wasn't really my go-to. It's about Dr. Brewer's doing a little plant testing in his basement, nothing to worry about, harmless. Their father is developing plant-like tendencies and he becomes like a weed. And it wasn't really my read. It's a second-hand one that didn't come from the library and I actually got off a friend. Say cheese and die, so one picture is worth 1,000 screams. Greg thinks something is wrong with his old camera he and his friends found. The photographs keep turning out wrong. And it's actually kind of freaky because even these days with paranormal experiences, some people look in their photographs and see things they're not meant to see. Did read this one a few times, which was Let's Get Invisible. I remember when I was little looking at this cover and being like, ooh la la, like he's cute. On Max's birthday, he finds a sort of magic mirror in the antique. It can make him invisible. Max and his friends start playing, now you see me, now you don't, until Max realizes he's losing control and staying invisible a little too long. Will he be invisible forever? Well, you know, R.L. Stine loves to give twist endings. Be careful what you wish for. And I used to think, whoa, this looks really cool because it's pink. So Sam meets someone who can grant her 3 wishes, but too bad Sam wasn't careful what she wished for. Book 12. This one was book 13. Piano lessons can be murder. Now this one I loved. No, this one was actually secondhand as well from a sale that I got. When Jerry finds a dusty old piano in the attic of his new house, his parents offer to pay for lessons at first. Taking piano seems like a cool idea, but there's something creepy about Jerry's piano teacher, Dr. Shriek. Something really creepy, something Jerry can't quite put his finger on. I get it. Then Jerry hears the stories, terrifying stories about the students. I don't really have a lot to do with Monster Blood, number 18. Same with this one, oh my god, number 19. Deep Trouble. I don't even think I even read this one. The cover didn't attract me, and back then everything I read was based off cover attraction. Scarecrow walks at midnight. 20. Go eat worms. Toad's fascinated with worms. He keeps a worm farm in his basement. Most of all, Todd loves torturing his sister and her best friend with worms, dropping them in their hair, down their backs. This is such a 90s thing to do. Until one day after cutting a worm in half, Todd notices something strange. Ghost Speech, I don't think I ever really read. This is number 22. And then I have number 24, which is Phantom of the Auditorium, and I think this one is a little more well known. As you can see, it's got ink stains all over it. Brooke's best friend Zeke has given the lead role in the school play The Phantom. Zeke's totally into it, but then the really scary things start happening. A message appears on a piece of scenery. The Phantom strikes. A stage light comes on. Is someone trying to ruin the play, or was the Phantom really living under the stage? Kid My Harris adventure and thinking, oh my god. He's an ape. Freaky, because I thought I would start sprouting things. And I love how these kids are dressed. This is so 90s. A Night in Terror Tower went a long way and actually I think was made into a movie. All locked up and no place to go. Sue and her brother Eddie are visiting London when they run into a little problem. They can't find their tour group. Still, there's no reason to panic. No way their tour guide would just leave them alone, all alone in the gloomy old prison tower. No way they're getting locked inside after dark with these eerie sounds and strange dark figure who wants them dead. With the original series, I have number 31, which was Night of the Living Dummy 2. This reminded me of Chucky. I thought this had a pretty cool cover. I then also have the Horror at Camp Jelly Jam, which is number 33. Again, I'm not really vibing this. The Headless Ghost. And I have also Chicken Chicken. This is number 15. So this is Please Don't Feed the Vampire and Readers Beware You Choose to Scare. As you are reading it, there's like multiple endings that you can pick, but you decide where the story goes. I remember not really liking it because I wanted to read a straight out story, but it was a pretty cool addition. The Haunted School. They watched you learn the hard way. I actually read it a few times when I was about 9-10 years of age. Really good. Ghost Next Door, one of my favorites as well. These ones came out a little later though. One of the ones I really enjoyed growing up was this book called The Haunting Hour that also R.L. Stine wrote. 10 terrifying tales that will haunt you forever. And again, I don't think these were based off the Goosebump books. Each book, apart from it, had like a little mini illustration, like the Halloween dance and everything. And this is really good to read on Halloween. Short stories, mostly ghostly. Now I only have book 1, 4 and 7 because the rest I used to borrow from the library.
These I actually own It's okay.
This was a great series and it was actually turned into a TV show, I believe, ages ago, back in the day. Guaranteed to get goosebumps when you meet Max Doyle. Max is a lot like you, except Max has 2 ghosts living in his bedroom and only he can see them. The ghosts say Max is the only one who can help them fight the most gruesome creature in the world, an evil spirit named Piers. That is my R.L. Stine collection! And happy Halloween to everyone watching. Enjoy the spooky season. What are you doing for Halloween? What are you up to in other parts of the world? If you own any of R.L. Stine's books, which ones do you own? And do you still read them every now and then? Or are you selling them on eBay? I always thought they'd become a little bit like Harry Potter books. Like if you have the originals, everything comes back into fashion. So I feel like these books one day will suddenly come back into fashion and everyone will own them again. I'm holding on to them and hopefully, you know, the first book, like the original Harry Potter book, can go up in value. But it's good. It's a good collection to have. Certain staple books that have made a mark and impact in so many people's lives. And I'm happy that I still own these awesome Goosebump books. I'm Miranda. Thank you so much for watching today's video. See you guys.